Hi, I'm Sabrina, and welcome to Sensible Practice, where you will benefit from my 25 plus years of leadership experience in corporate America. In this video, I'll be sharing how to monetize your change management initiative. So I've got lots to share with you, so let's get started. So, change management historically has been very hard to measure, resulting in the belief really that it's just an extra cost for training at the end of a project. But the fact is that we just were not very good at measuring the return on investment for our change initiatives. Um, Company leaders want to know what the impact is to their bottom line. So they want you to show them the money with a lot of new research and the new methodologies that continue to grow around change management. There are new ways of measuring success that come out every day. It is important to make sure that you can monetize the value added to gain support from the start of your project. So, I want you all to think about as we go through this exercise, this question here on the page. What is it about your project that provides value to the organization? And this is really what you should be sharing with leaders as you're presenting out your proposal for a change project, or even a regular project for that matter, because you really need to show them what value your project is bringing, and what money you will be able to save them. So let's jump into it right here. So first off, it's important to know your end game before you start your project. So what does success look like? How will you measure success? Here's an example, just that we can kind of think through as we go through this exercise. So if I'm implementing a new software upgrade, my success measure is adoption to the new functionality. That's what I want to see at the end. I want people to be using this new functionality, right? And so, in order for me to get to my success goal, I must first understand what the baseline is that I'm measuring from. So, how many people use the process today, and how long does it take them to do the process today? So, this first measure, number one, my goal is going to be 85% of employees impacted adopt the change successfully within the first month. Okay, so my project objective is adoption to the change and use of new processes. Um, and so, what you're going to be doing, or what I did, was first get your baseline metrics. So, how many employees are impacted by the change? Your goal is 85% of those employees times the number of employees that were impacted. So that'll give you the baseline. So say you have like 100 employees in your company, and your goal is to get 85% of those employees to adopt the change. Then that baseline is going to be 85 employees. Um, so now that your baseline has been determined, how will you measure success? So basically, you're going to be able to measure success by the number of employees using this new functionality divided by the baseline, which will be 85, and that'll give you the percent of those who have successfully adopted the change. So, this one is where you're going to need to do some research prior to establishing your measurement strategy. So, the objective here is slightly different than the one we just went over, but again, it helps to build the story of the value added from your change initiative. So first off, the success measure we want at the end of this project for this number two is 10% improvement in production time for entering an application into the system over a 90-day period, or for one whole quarter. So we need to understand the current state of how long it takes to enter an application into the system, and how often the associates have to do this process, along with how many people are actually performing this process every day. So you would perform several side by sides with the impacted employees to get a good qualitative measurement of the timing involved, um, that's involved to enter this application. You'll document your findings so that you can compare this same analysis in 3 months post the implementation. So, what you should have documented is the number of employees who perform the task. You want the observed time, average time, in seconds of how long the process takes. How many times does each employee have to perform this task over the 90-day period? Okay. And then after 90 days, you're going to go and you're going to do another observation, same one, but it's going to be post the change implementation so that you can do that comparison as to whether the change that you implemented actually saved time on the data entry or not. So to the right side here on the screen, I have an equation that, this is specific to the project that I'm talking about. So you may have a few different measures that you would be looking at, obviously. But what you can look at here is, the seconds to complete a specific process multiplied by the number of times the process is performed per employee over the 90 days. Then you multiply that total by the number of employees performing this task. So we had said, well, I used in my example 85, but I'll talk about my examples here in a second. And then you multiply by average salary of the employee per second. And then you're going to divide that by the total number of seconds over 90 days. So again, for the example purposes, what I put down was that I was observing that there were 85 employees that were doing this task on a daily basis. And it took 5 minutes, which is 300 seconds, for each person to enter one application. Each person on average enters 65 applications over a 90-day period. And so another thing that I needed to point out was that their average salary that I had in my example was that they made $15 per hour per employee. So let's jump to the results and see what we've got. So here's our result. Looky here. So we had 1,657,500 seconds to complete the original task. That was with the 85 employees at 5 minutes per employee, and 65 times per month per employee. So the total cost at the start was $6,630 for that process. And so our goal of the project was to improve that by 10% production time with the change. And according to the numbers here, we saved $663 by applying this change. So this is something that, you can definitely apply, monetary value to pretty much anything that you're measuring. So you just got to figure out what those measures are and determine ways to get those numbers into dollar values, because this is what leaders want to see. They want to see what you're going to be saving them in the long run, and then they will weigh their options at that point. But if you don't have a number value to your projects, a lot of times they don't consider it priority, or they don't consider it to be of value. So you must do this process. So I'll have some more videos about measurement going forward, but just wanted to start us off with this one. So I hope you enjoyed. All right, that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And please, if you don't mind, give me a like, share, and subscribe for more content as I add it out here every week. Thank you again, and I truly appreciate your support.